Today, I'm going to show you how to create CAD models using code. The first thing you want to do is go to a program like OpenSCAD and look at their cheat sheet to see how to create different shapes. In my example here, you can see me creating shapes using the cube tool, the square tool, the cylinder tool, and the circle tool. OpenSCAD works like any coding language where you can define variables and you can create functions to create different things using those variables. For example, my yellow wall here is created using the wall module seen over here on the left. In addition, you can use different operations like the difference operation to cut shapes out of your part. Here I'm using the difference operation to cut this circle out of the bottom here. If I want to print this piece, I have to render it, which I can do over here using the render tool. However, you'll notice that it's going to take a while to render. It's 65 out of 1000, which doesn't really mean much to me. If I let this go for about 10 minutes, my computer would either close OpenSCAD or it would never render. And I found this out through trial and error. So instead, I simplified my model and I rendered it here. You can see that it's progressively going up faster and faster. And once it's rendered, it's going to tell me that I can use the STL function to create it as an STL. After this, we can import our STL into a slicing software like Cura. And I just did open file to open this here. Then you can use the default settings and slice your print. After you slice it, you might want to notice that if you want to take off the supports for the various holes, you don't want them to be too thick. So in my case, I turned them into tree supports and I had them in a zigzag pattern at a 45-degree angle so that they'd be easier to take apart. After slicing, we can see our model here, and we can see all the tree supports here and the different layers that it's going to take to make this lattice structure. I started to try and 3D print my shape, but I noticed a lot of layer shift in the print. I thought that my model might be the problem at first, but then I printed out a different version, the one seen in blue here, and I found that it worked pretty well, although the supports here were bad. Eventually, it was just my printer which I wasn't able to fix, so I ended up printing it on a different Ender printer. Here you can see me playing with the tree supports, and here you can see me trying to take them out. Here's the final part with lights laced in between the cube. I think my biggest takeaway here is to make sure that you are able to render whatever you are making. It can be quite easy to make really complicated shapes using code, but if it doesn't render, you can never print it or make it using an SLS printer or any other manufacturing process. In addition, having the right supports is also important. Even with tree supports here, this would be pretty hard to take apart for 3D print, so you'd be better off using an SLS printer. Finally, avoiding layer shift will help save you a lot of time when you actually try and manufacture your print.